So everybody who knows me knows that I play an assassin. I was once hired to infiltrate a guild and assassinate their military commander on top of their Aegis hammerhead that they pull out for big battles. I was to pose as a new player, volunteer to run a turret, and then get out of the turret mid-battle and cut everybody out, so that the opposing guild could score a win. I successfully infiltrated this guild, and then I got exposed to a very nice and helpful community that I couldn't harm. The community of casuals and miners. They gave me money, they treated me very well. I posed as a new player, and they were all willing to help and take me on bounties and on missions. So in the end, they won me over, and I couldn't do it. I cancelled the contract and returned the money to the employer. Call it unprofessional, but I do have a moral code that I follow. Now, during this experience, the first person I met was actually their guild leader who invited me in. And there were some interesting things he said that were definitely worth recording. I'm attaching the entire audio unedited, everything that I've recorded, and there are definitely some things to listen to and lessons to learn. This is a good representation of how an average Star Citizen player thinks about the game. How much of the expectations is actually in their head, how much they're living in their own fantasy that they're buying, hoping that the game will deliver on the promise, and it really isn't their fault. It's completely on Chris Roberts' marketing team, the CIG, like the fantasy they're selling, and how little is actually of it in game after 8 years of development and lots of money spent. And the way the guildmaster sort of grooms and treats their players to try to organize a community that works or that runs itself, definitely worth noting. Enjoy.
Where I wanted to be. Um, there's also going to be um, rest stops for people who are doing refining. There's going to be like maybe a refinery there, a couple of places to land your ship. You're walking into a complex of some sort, figuring out your tools. You're going to have physical inventory at the time. Maybe open up your locker and change your clothes out, jump back into your mole, or the mole might be parked there. Um, that's I'm going to set my mole at the gate, and that's where I want it because the rocks are really good here. The downside is you won't find so much pirate activity around the gates, obviously. No, actually, you would. A lot of people are already speculating. Where would player pirates at least like to linger? Around where there's a lot of traffic. So as you're coming up on the gate, you might be interdicted before you reach the security range of the gate, right? So you might want to go with an escort. It makes the game a lot more immersive. There's now a reason why you should be flying in a group. Oh, you're going through the gate? Let us join you because you'll never make it. There's people there all the time. Stop, and they will blow you up or whatever the case might be. So it puts a lot more excitement into the game. You're not just freely going somewhere. Oh,
I get that. But they also need the gameplay loops for solos
nice.
and casuals.
Right, they do. Away from the gate is going to be the spawning of the NPC pirates are going to be heightened quite a bit. And then you're going to see NPC pirates work out, that being some of the missions, right? Go and liberate the material that the pirates are illegally mining. Go and get that stuff. Okay, great. So you go to the mission area, and there they are mining rocks. You're out there to disrupt them and stop them and gather what they had taken. Because they'd taken it illegally, per se. There's a lot of ideas that the Halo Belt's going to bring up. And seeing the video of it, I know it's for real. And I can't wait to see what they actually come up with.
So this is actually confirmed? Like it's not just like headcanon?
Yeah. Nope, it's actually confirmed about what the Halo Belt is actually going to be.
Okay. Hey, KV, are you at the Hurston L2 in your base?
I am not, no.
Oh, where are you at? I wanna see how the selling of the minerals works.
Well, it's the same way as when we bought it. But go ahead.
And for like a quick description of that, you essentially go to the console of the refinery, and then you put in a cargo order, they load into your ship that has cargo capacity, and then you have to fly it to a port or port of trade where you can sell.
Right.
Oh,
So
okay.
it turns into actual cargo hauling at that point.
Yeah, the boxes that you saw yesterday,
Yeah.
it's basically what it will generate, and then I just simply bring it over and sell it at a terminal.
So where are you gonna sell it? Like, do you guys want to like hang out?
Well,
Oh,
I'm
like-
stopping at Sherman to pick up something small so I can run this bug real fast,
Okay.
generate a little bit more money,
Sure.
and then I'm into I'm gonna break out since it's about 2 o'clock, going for 2:30. I'm
Okay.
gonna break out for lunch.
Well, I'll like fly my Aurora wherever. Like, where do you guys want to meet? Like, what station or whatnot?
I'm going to probably be back at Hurston L2. That's usually where I would log off after land.
Okay. I'll just fly my little Aurora there. Sounds good. I'll just meet
Yep,
you there whenever.
that Halo belt shit is gonna be, it's gonna be great. Yeah, and
If you could make
that's,
that video in general, if you have it available, that'd be awesome. I'd like to see that.
I think Board Gamer
Thank you.
touched base on it.
Visit again.
Yeah, but he puts up a video every 2 hours, so there's
Yeah, he does.
2,000 videos to go
Yeah,
through.
so if you type into YouTube Board Gamer,
I could, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do that. There's a bug where you could shoot the Nerf gun at the address, and it'll just explode.
That doesn't sound like a bug at all. That sounds like totally intentional. Anyway, I am going
Totally
to jump off for lunch. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
I'm doing the same as soon as I land on Edmund. Yeah, the Aaron Halo that's going to mix it up just a bit, gentlemen. You know, no more are you freely going to go and. I mean, I'm sure we're still going to be able to hit up Halo belt in areas that don't have a gate. You just can't pass through it using quantum.
I feel like the only people that will be passing through it without the gate are like smugglers with a lot of shit. That's
Yeah, but then you never know where they're passing. You know what I mean? It's going to be, but you also have the high threat of pirates that spawn everywhere around the belt, right? You have that risk. So there's no more going out doing a mining run and everyone's in a mole. We would have to think about escorts and all kinds of craziness, you know?
Ooh, could I fly an escort?
Alright, so why are we gonna be
That's fun.
flying around in a mole whenever we should be flying around in an Orion?
What, right. Well, the Orion would be that is even a bigger target as well for anyone, right? So it would have to be protected by escorts. The Orion really can't protect itself. That's
Oh,
not
well that's what the Blood Ravens are for, dude.
exactly.
We're good.
So I know a lot of features are coming out in the future, but the Aaron Halo Belt rework is really going to spark a lot of content.
That's probably not good to do though.
Even if you go there not to mine, you're sure to be taking down a lot of pirates when you jank around in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be something that people are going to want to do.
Do you have like the ins and outs from the developers and stuff?
I just watch a lot of videos. I stay up to date on what their ideas are, and how far they've taken things. I watch a lot of there's like calling all dev videos where they
I
give
love those.
the rundown on the state of the game and what their plans are for the next 6 months or something. So
Yep.
it would
I
be
watch Calling All Devs. I watch Morphologists and Board Gamer. Those three.
yeah, they have a lot of good information too that really hasn't been. They might come up with their own idea, like, oh, I hope that they do this with that, and it's like, yeah, but what's the real path? Like,
Yeah, I watched
instead of
this
just-
dude. He's called Failure to Report. That guy just rails on the game. He's really tough on it.
Because he's an ass clown.
Oh, you don't like him?
Well, well, for people who rail on an alpha,
Well,
rail
most
on
of
the
the time they're
you know,
railing on the fact that it's been alpha forever.
right, but rail on the game when it's complete. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he
Like,
says that stuff. There's like they like lie in their trailers and like like whatever they show in like the expos or whatever, is just like a pre-filmed footage, like pre-approved. Like it's not actually the gameplay. That they like overpromise like what they like. What's your stance on that? Like, do you
what do you
notice
mean?
a lot of that?
I think they've fulfilled their promise so far. It just takes time. Like they've made everything, even their engine, from scratch. That takes millions of dollars and years to do. A lot of games that they're comparing it to, a lot of those games, they're just rehashing assets.
Oh, okay.
So they can make a game within 1 year. Whereas these guys have done everything from the ground up. And so I really hate listening to people bash this game. Yeah, it's been taking a long time, but quality does take time. And I don't know, I hate it.
Well, yeah. So what I was watching in a video yesterday, he said that they're like focusing on the single player game and they're splitting their resources, like a squadron something, and uh,
Right.
and they're like hiring all these actors. So they're like using money
Mhm.
not to develop the actual MMO that people are like waiting for. And like I don't know
No,
how much of that is
so
true.
Quadrant 42 is obviously going to be easier to make because they don't have to work with networking stuff. So they're able to work from the ground up a little quicker, and all the assets that they're making in that game are going to be copy pasted into this multiplayer
Okay,
version
I see.
once Infiltrating is done.
Gotcha.
And once they release that single player game, they're going to get a shit ton of revenue when people buy it. And
I
so
see.
all of that money is probably going to go right to the PU.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like not even at all interested in like a single player version. I just
So
like this.
so this is something that they're actually doing. As they're developing Squadron 42, what they feel is worked and validated and finalized, they push over to the PU. They are testing it in a broader, wider sense when they bring it over to the PU. Like he just said, it's easy to make it for a first player. It's got its algorithms, and if you do this, it does that, and without fail, it will, because there's not thousands of people banking it up. It's a whole different monster bringing it over to the PU. You're dealing with so many other variables that it's just countless, right? And you can't foresee the outcome most times until you run into a task. So that's what takes a long time. Plus the brand new server types that they're coming out with, which just to get the game just to get the game in a state that it's going to run.
It's going to be neat. It really is.
That's
Like,
also the hard part.
this game is very promising, and I'd say so far they've delivered on their promise. It takes time. I haven't been a backer since like what was it, 2004 when they first started this thing, but I mean, I've kept my eyes on it for a while, and eventually I ended up just getting the game, and I'm like, holy crap, this has gone a long ways from just going into the hangar. That's all you were able to do for a while, just go into your hangar. So now you've got cities, you've got mining and bounty hunting, and soon like a plethora of other things, and now they're starting with shit to do on planets in the next couple patches. So it's going quicker. Their development's going quicker because everything's starting to work in sync. It just takes them a long time to get that coding down.
You know how long it took them to build one of the planets here in Stanton? It took a long time. Now that they have the what would you call it? Now that they have the formula down, all they're really doing is copying and pasting the main code and then tweaking it a bit make it a whole new planet with okay, the gravity is not going to be 50% on this one, it's going to be 45. And I'm to cut and paste the rest of the code of a planet, and we're going to put it right here. And there you go, whole new planet.
And it's not gonna feel like recycled. Like things
No,
will look.
because their system would be like, okay, if you were, for instance, if you get a brand new microwave, and sure, you can put a mug of hot chocolate in there to heat up, right? But you're not too familiar with the microwave yet, so you don't want your chocolate too hot. So what do? I'm gonna put it to 1 minute and see what that does. That's not too bad, but it could have been better. Next time I'm gonna make a chocolate, I'm gonna put it on for 2 minutes. You know what? That's burning my tongue, and that's a little too much. So next time I'm gonna make a chocolate, I'm gonna put it to 1:30. You know what? That's just right, and I like how that came out. Now that I know the template, I can now copy it easily. Now every time I make a chocolate, I know it's going to be 1:30. So using that concept for planet making, they can put a wireframe of a planet because they got that code down already. All they need to do is change up the variables that makes a planet, right? I'm going to put down that it has 75% trees and maybe 20% water and 10% mountains. Okay, this planet, I want it to have 75% water and 20% mountains and no trees. It's since they put the code in already, all it takes is changing up that code to make things different. We want this to be an ultra cold planet with its own property or whatever. The hardest part is to do things the first time.
Yep.
And now that you know how, it's pretty much cut paste. They have a whole team dedicated to just making new systems. That's all they do.
You seem like a true believer.
Absolutely. I have drunk the Kool-Aid, my friend.
Oh
And I went
yeah,
back.
yeah. Are you like a project manager by trade? I'm a programmer by trade. It's if something. Well, I mean, what they have is pretty impressive.
Well, it does not. Okay, so
I
that
do have concerns. Like the stability issues we had yesterday, where you were like losing. Like you guys like had a lot of misadventures yesterday, so it's like.
yes, but
Millions of dollars in. I think grinding for ships in game was definitely the right call to do. Like if I had to buy ships right now with real money, I'd be like, I'm gonna hold on that.
Well, that bug didn't work because I had to log out in my bed and log back in, so I'm gonna be done for now. I'm gonna log back in my bed and come back after lunch and everything, so
Yep. Lunch sounds kind of good too.
If you guys want like an escort, as soon as I get some kind of good ship, like there's like a Saber, a Banu Defender, right? I'll like fly with you guys as like escort or whatnot. You're like the first people I've met, so.
I damaged the crap out of my MSR, but yeah, when I come back, I'm gonna be doing some mission runs to raise that quick capital because we really need the trade commission to be up and running at least by the end of the night.
Mission runs. What? All right, hang on. What trade? All right, I'm really confused. So, what are we doing mission runs for?
I'm trying to raise capital.
Why don't we mine Quantanium again? We were like really good yesterday. Like
Because not all the time are you going to be able to find Quantanium that easily.
If you don't know that,
So
I'm super lucky.
yeah, dude, his first hour of what am I doing? His first hour of no, not even first hour. His first 5 minutes of mining and never done it before. Just made his character an hour before. Finds like one of the best rocks I've seen in a while.
That's awesome.
So I make, excuse me, sir, but are you a spy? Are you from the dev team?
Yeah,
Are you
should
are you
mine.
coming?
Just wait
Are
for
you
my
co-
money. So we can
are
get
you
some.
coming in to like test
Alright,
things
so
out?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Um.
Hell yeah. Let's
Okay.
you
So
process
need
that
before,
ore.
capital
yeah. So
to get
before I
that
go,
ship
here's your
or
take.
something for this trade thing, or just capital to start this big trade expedition?
Now, given the 50K that I gave you yesterday, this is the balance of 60K in total, which was your take.
Hell yeah.
So, I'm going to give you 10 more. That seems fair.
Nice. Thanks.
What is the capital for, Val?
The capital is to be able to launch the Trade Commission as a working division. So, just like me giving, like I know that you had purchased the mall, and so what I did for you is it was just a gift. Don't worry about it. It was just a gift. So now you're able to do mole mining, and you have a capable ship of putting your finished refinery jobs into, so you can sell on a personal note, or maybe if you're a part of a team, you have a way of helping out. So you become more valuable because you have more resources to work with.
But you want the capital to start the trading? Is that what you want? Like
The
have a
capital
couple million?
would be used to start the coffers. Now we already put in a little bit of into the coffers to kind of give us a range on what we're actually going to be working with.
Yeah.
So if it's an official trade run type scenario, everybody would be out in a trade ship using a set amount of capital of your own, which is the UEC. You're using a set amount of capital, and you're telling yourself, I'm not going to spend any more than this, not per run, but that's what you start with, right? Everyone starts with something. I have $100. I'm going to go out and spend $100 worth on goods. If my return is $200, now I have $200 to spend on the next run, so on and so forth. You never dig into your own personal wallet. So if we come up with some sort of plan, we know how the other divisions work, right? We are in an official op. It's run the way it's run, so it's more organized. Not everybody's going to get chipped out of money or anything, but we all know how that goes. The Trade Commission is different because you have. It's better if everyone takes part in buying and selling from different locations, right?
Yeah.
Like I would be responsible for the run from Yella to Port Olisar. I know that run very well. I know the net worth I would be able to take back. It's a nice quick run. It's nothing extensive. What I know, Port Olisar sells what Yella has to sell on our port mining area. 50, some shit is 051 or whatever. So I would be responsible for that run in that little area. Right?
Okay.
Where somebody else might be janking around near Microtech, buying and selling stuff around that general area, so on and so forth. So the Trade Commission, it grows as quickly as there's more people participating. then you would report like, okay, you know what, my take was such and such an amount, and I'm going to donate. I mean, what you feel is fair because you did all the work to raise that much, right? So you're donating to the coffer to be able to fund the division. It's like a Kickstarter program. So then once the division has enough money to kind of work on its own, with your donations, if you ever do want to donate, like, oh, okay, you guys got 2.5 million in the coffers, now you should be good at whatever you guys are doing.
So you guys buy a capital ship?
No. Capital as in cash, as in monetary stuff.
I can help you guys. There's like a spreadsheet I downloaded for all the trading goods. Like it has like all the best routes, so you guys can all like jump in on the best selling price and just like en masse. There's like stuff. Yeah. I can post
running it that way, I have a candidate, as we talked about, that would lead, but we have fallen on some pretty janky stuff, right? Some bugs happening, some mishaps, whatever the case might be. So nothing is really formal as of yet. Now, just because there's a candidate for the running for the leadership does not mean that position is locked in. I just chose geez, I forgot his fucking name. Oh my goodness. Casual. I chose Casual because he showed a really intense interest in trading where nobody else was really saying it. So I'm like, all right, you're the first one to mention it. In the way that you're mentioning it, I'm gonna give you a shot. So that's where that comes in. So
what kind of ship do you need to do the trading?
It could be any ship that can carry cargo, whatever you think, because you're the one doing the work.
Yeah, well, for the Max Caterpillar, like the Max Caterpillar Reclaimer.
Right now it's the Max, or the Caterpillar.
Yeah, I own a Caterpillar, but here's the situation. Here's where it gets crazy. Right now, we all know that the inventory system cannot be shared, right? We get shot down, we get angered upon, whatever the case might be. So that's why the Trade Commission needs to run the way it needs to be. The people that are telling me, no, KV, you're wrong. You're always going to keep the ships you buy. I'm like, I don't think so. I'm not trusting a reset.
In-game ships. Like the ships you buy in game, not with real currency, but in-game money.
That's what I'm talking
after. Well, once we hit beta, as far as I know.
Yeah, you'll be reset, right? So nothing at the end of the day matters until alpha until beta and final release comes out. We all know.
I also think that we're going to get wiped one or two more times before beta. Mainly with the bigger systems coming in, like the inventory stuff. I really think it's gonna.
Yeah, you think so?
I honestly think it's going to jank up something, and we're just gonna have to wipe it. That's just what I think. I mean, obviously, I'm not.
Well, here's the situation. Anything you buy on the market using the RSI website, you keep, no matter how many wipes they count, right? So that's the direction I went. I went in that direction with my armor and my weapons, just some standard stuff. You know, I just want some standard stuff. I want to be able to log into the game with a multi-tool. I don't have to go to a big city to buy it. Losing it. I mean, the essential stuff I bought. Now, in-game stuff, I'll buy an armor set that I might not have. I'll buy clips for the ammunition or whatever.
Right.
I'll even go out and rent a ship for 24 hours, like the Prospector. Before I got the mole, that's what I was doing. Renting out a Prospector, making enough runs that it paid for itself, plus some sort of profit, and I was happy. It's very, very cheap. But to buy a ship outright, I think I did it once. I did it with the Prospector one time. No, I didn't even do it with the Prospector. What did I do with it?
I have a question, KV.
Yeah.
Is it possible, and have you ever thought of this? If it's possible, is like, so you collect a bunch of money from like your guild members, right? Like, donations or whatever, to taxes, and you get all that money, right? And then you open like a bank, so you start lending out money, like to others, and then you collect with interest, and like just.
They don't have a bank function yet.
Do you know if they will? Because that would be like a really good way to grow, like if you're like a corporation or whatever.
Honestly,
Just
I
maybe
wish
like a
they
whale.
did.
They will have a banking system that a corporation you can go into. You can go into either a base you build, or there's a banking system that you can walk up to. Do you see all those ATMs?
Yeah.
They're not functional yet.
Right.
I'm sure that they will be, right? You slide in your card that has, whatever you see it tied to your account, and you say, I want to withdraw or I want to deposit.
Right. And you would be the bank, like your corporation would have like a coffer, and you loan money to like mercenaries, like me, for example. Like, hey, I need like a ship right now to do bounties in, and I will like borrow money from you. But then you automatically set that, like, okay, in a month we're gonna collect.
Nope,
And
we
it's
don't
just like
do
how
that.
would they? And then if you are like, if you don't pay, you go into like, you still get your
Nope.
money, but I'm in the negative currency, so like I have to still work it. I have to still work it
Yeah.
up, like that.
Nope, that system would not work, I tell you why.
Why?
This is the system that we're doing. Participation is going to earn you the reward.
Ah, yes, like DKP.
I
Like
could lend you.
endangered service sort of thing.
Well, the participation will earn you the reward. So that eliminates the possibility of saying, "Hey, Conrad, you remember 2 months ago I handed you that $4 million for that ship? Yeah, it's time to pay up." And
Yeah,
you're like,
that's why the system
"Well,
needs
you
to be
know,
automatic. That's why they need to automatically
really
withdraw it.
don't." But it's like I really don't have it. So and you jank me around for a long time.
Right, that's
well,
what-
we're
yeah.
asked out, right?
Right.
But here's
yeah.
where the participation level comes in. You would be squared with us because of your level of participation.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's the way they do it
If
now.
the
Like,
Blood Raven,
would be cool.
if the Blood Ravens say we're doing an official op tonight, and we're all going to be sharing the mission, we're all going to be in a group. We all share the missions, and we all get, a slice of the pie evenly. If a mission gives you 20,000, and 5 people are a part of that mission, you each are getting 5,000.
Right, split, as we
Right.
learned yesterday with
So, right. So that then you know that you're getting your fair cut right away.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking
But
like if
it is
Star
not
Citizen
so much-
will implement a banking system so that you can be,
They will. but-
if you can like loan people money like later on.
Well, I'm sure if you
That would be
feel it
great.
necessary within a personal. If
That's what I would want.
if I personally think, all right, I'm gonna send Conrad whatever. So, like yesterday, I gave you a loan,
Right.
and then we sold what we sold. Your cut was 60, so I owed you 10. I mean, it's that easy, right? So now we're even.
Right, but it gives me
Right,
an
but
opportunity to like lie and like run off. But if they implemented a system that
right.
automatically withdraws from my account and puts me in the negative if I don't pay up, like you
No,
set the
no,
timer, you set the timer like 30 days, and you say 10% interest. So I'm going to give you $1 million now, but in a month I'm picking up $1,100,000, and if I
Right.
don't pay, it's automatically given back to you. Like that's what they should implement. So you can be like a loaner, and then your capital can grow, and you like rent to big corporations.
Well,
that
do you
would,
know
that would
what
be
that
awesome.
would? But do you know what that would spawn? That would spawn a lot of corruption. I could make a second character, and I can tell my second character, because of the system that I put in, that character owes me 10 million
Yeah.
at a certain time.
Yeah.
That 10 million ends up in my bank, and my secondary character, which I care not two shits about is negative 10 million.
Oh,
Do you
you're
think
right.
I'm ever?
Damn it.
Do you think I'm ever going to log into that second character?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
because I got my 10 million for free. It's not
Shit.
gonna work.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah,
a lot of people would do that.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
I'll-
It would
I'll
be
do-
corruption in the city on day one.
Damn,
So
okay. Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So this is the system that we came up with. The participation level.
Okay. Yeah,
Now,
that makes sense.
The military side, you are participating, but you're getting paid immediately,
Okay.
right?
So Blood Ravens is like your military squad.
Yes. So when you're running with the Blood Ravens, and I'm sure that'll come up in the future, there is some qualifying spots, but you would have to talk to Dre Bazzi about that. She's not online at this point. You will meet her at some point. So you go and run with the military, you get instant results. So now you're happy, right? Oh, I'm participating. That's not the participation level we're talking about. In this current environment, in the current system, our solution to the inventory workaround, where we can't share inventory, we have to work around that, right? So our solution is, if you are running if we're running a mining operation, the head of the corp is running a mining operation. I take my mole as part of the team, and I set 1 to 3 people with me to operate all 3 of the guns, right?
Yeah.
We go out and mine, you guys are doing the work, I'm looking around, we're all working together, we collect the rocks that we collect, I bring my mole with you 3, you guys are sticking around me as a team, part of the op, and there might be 2 or 3 other teams out there, but we're all working together. And as long as you participate, you being a laser operator, or maybe you're driving the ship, or maybe you're one of our scouts. Scouts not as in military, but while we are breaking down rocks, a scout is going around trying to find the next best rock to mine. Like, oh, you guys done over there with the rock? I just found another one, so meet me here.
Okay.
And it's right in front of me. Knock yourself out. I'm going to go out and scout for the next one. That's a scout. That's a mining scout.
Okay.
So in any way that you participate...
So like in a prospector or something?
It could be anything.
Okay.
You can take a combat ship out. Your whole job for the entire op is to scout ahead for the next best rock.
I can scout rocks in a combat ship?
Yeah, because you're using the same scanner. It's the same exact thing. You can scan down rocks, but you just don't have a way to mine it. You're just scanning them down. Oh, I found the next one over here, guys. So warp over to my location using my quantum beacon. Because we're all part of the group, right? You know where I'm at. Okay, so you see where I'm at? Right here. Where my ship is, right here, is the next best one. Everyone gather to me. Okay, great. Or there might be another scout for every mole. So if I'm driving my mole, and you, Doom, and Octafed are working the lasers, there's someone else scouting for us. So all we pay attention to is that particular scout. We don't pay attention to any other scouts because they belong to the other moles, right?
Okay.
So we are non-stop mining. We're not taking we're not wasting time. Well, it's not a waste of time, but you know what I mean. We're not spending time trying to find the next rock. We have a scout to do that. So now the operation's a lot more quicker, a lot more smoother. We're raising a lot more capital. Okay, so everyone's participating, and there's essentially up to 5 people per full team, right? The 4 in the mole and the 1 at scout. So I run back with my mole. While we need a point of reference to go back to, right? because the spot that I took you out in does not have a beacon that you can fly to. So you would use your group members' quantum beacon to go right back to the spot you just left. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's another job for the scout, is to be a reference point to come back to. So the scout is important in its own right. I mean, without the scout, we're not able to do it so easily, and without the scout, we lose our place where really good rocks are.
Okay.
And there would be no way to find them once you jump out, because there's nothing to click on to say warp here, right? That would be the scout signal. We use the scout signal to quantum jump there, back to the same spot. So that works out. Now I land my mole. It's full of whatever the rocks were, and since I'm running the op and I have all the merchandise, the people who are with me aren't seeing an immediate return like you would in a military op, because as like for today, the jobs take several hours to finish, and you'd have to figure out how much they sell for, and then how much everybody's take is going to be, that sort of thing, right?
Okay.
So you don't see immediate return. So what's the benefit? The benefit is your participation, because you helped raise that much in that session.
Okay.
So what we do is we set up a coffers system that if at any time you're asking for, since it's the mining ops coffer, if you want to take your portion out of the coffer, like I have the results of the money on me, right?
Okay.
It went to the coffers because that's what the official mining op is for. And you understood that when you joined. You understood that, okay, I'm not going to see any immediate returns. I'm not going to see much of anything, but taking into account my participation, that would help me out in the near future. Because here's what happens. I put everything through a job, I sell everything, and I put it aside, put into the coffer. Now, there's no real coffer in the game. We just kind of know by documentation how much we're putting in versus how much we're putting out, and what the balance is, and all that stuff, right? So when it comes time for you to request a mining ship of your own, you would ask the Mad Cat Industries, because that falls under mining operations, is under Mad Cat Industries. You would ask Mad Cat Industries, hey, I participated a lot into the organization. I think I would benefit more on the next op by owning a prospector and doing some runs as well. I want to create my own team. I would like to be in a mole with 4 other people and a scout assigned to me. I would like to be in that position. So that's my goal. I want to get into a mole, and I would be able to run my own team for the op, right? Now we're taking even more capital, because you benefited from all of the participation that you've done. And as a reward for your participation, which is bettering us in the future, we use the capital in the coffer to buy you equipment so you can perform better for the next op. And then you just rinse and repeat that for the next player. And we would satisfy everyone's needs, so you're not out doing it yourself. It brings everybody together. There's a lot of benefits to it. So if someone doesn't participate all that much, comes up and says, "Hey, can I get a mole too? Like I participated," and it's like, "Yeah, you participated one night out of the 3 months that we've been doing it." The answer is no. Whereas Conrad has been on every time we did a mining up. Conrad was a part of it, and he really put his time into it. I think he should be the first one to get to use the coffer's money to help him buy a mole inside the.
Huh.
Does that make sense?
It's trying to, but yeah, I guess they have to adjust the prices for
no,
things. Right
no,
now, it doesn't make sense because like people are like farming up 1 million a day by doing bounties, and
Oh,
like,
I see what you mean.
yeah,
Yes.
people like can afford if I like qualified for very high bounties and swapped out of the Aurora, I could farm up like for a prospector in a day. There would be like no incentive. It's like they have to be a
No,
lot more
under-
expensive, or the ships you buy your people need to be like a lot. Like it's
Yes,
gonna
it's
drive you
understood.
like bankrupt because like a reclaimer I looked is like 12 or like 11 million something like.
But think of it this way. Think of
You
it
have to
this
buy
way.
reclaimers for people.
We do it up in steps. Okay. So if you're a part of Mad Cat Industries official mining,
Yeah.
if you want to go into the step up program, is maybe something I would call it, to step up. If you want to sign up for the step up program, your first level would be owning a Cutlass Black. So it would be a way for you to step into the scouting position,
Okay.
right? Now, why would we select a Cutlass Black? Because a lot of players out there, like yourself, you have an Aurora and you have maybe something else because of the monthly, right? That's pretty much all you have.
The what? Because of the what?
You have the MSR. Well, you might not have the MSR.
I don't have anything. I just have an Aurora.
It's just an Aurora. So
Yeah.
your situation is perfect. Okay, so Conrad, listen. If you join
Okay.
with the Mad Cat Industry official op, let's say tonight we run one, and maybe we will.
Okay.
When I come back from lunch, and I'm just waiting for my mother to get home. I will run an official mining op for Mad Cat Industry. Okay?
Yep.
And you're going to be a part of it. Now, you don't have the capability to mine for yourself. You
Right.
don't have the capability to run any type of cargo.
Right.
You just don't have that. Now, you might go out there and rent a ship, sure, but why would you do that? When the coffer, because of your participation, Mad Cat Industries coffer will help you into your next best ship.
Okay.
That will put you in a better position to help Mad Cat Industries next time we run it up.
Okay. Yeah. Something like the ship I really like
It's
is
a
what.
step-up program.
Yeah.
Now,
like
if you
what
now,
Careless
if you
Whisper was flying,
participate,
the Constellation. Like that would be a cool one
right,
to own.
right, so that's a nice goal.
Yeah.
You would want to participate in the Blood Ravens official ops because the Constellation is considered a combat ship.
Oh, what kind of ship?
So you combat, right? It's multi, but
Multi, yeah.
it's really combat, right?
Okay.
So you would ask the Blood Ravens to join their ops and to be, a lot of participation, helping them out with missions or whatever it might be. And it raises their capital. It raises their coffer, the military coffer. You would not ask for a mining ship out of the military coffer.
Okay.
You wouldn't ask for a combat ship out of the Mad Cat Industries coffer because that's used for mining stuff, mining ships, mining equipment, mining this, mining that. If you were to ask for something that could haul a great many goods, you wouldn't ask the military, and you wouldn't ask Mad Cat Industries. You would then go to the Trade Commission coffer and say, "Hey, I did a lot of training and put a lot of, I donated a good $1 million to the Trade Commission, and I do see that the coffers has enough for, this ship that I'm looking at that I can maybe be better with trading.
Okay.
Can I be authorized to do that? Since I participated a lot and whatever, so we would all get together and say, Conrad was really, he had a lot of participation in a lot of the Blood Ravens ops. He also participated a lot with Mad Cat Industries. Do you think he's, in the running to, get the next best ship that he would want? What coffers do we take it from? His participation level is really high, and here's his goal.
Okay.
What can we do to satisfy them? So in that way, in the future, you don't owe us. We don't owe you. You feel satisfied with what you obtained because you worked hard for that. You participated a lot for that. And now you've seen a return. It might have been over time and not immediate, but at least you can say, wow, I'm hopping in a mole that's actually mine, and it took me, several operations with the organization to obtain it. And,
Okay.
they gave me enough capital to buy it, and now I'm happy. So whatever the goal you might have, the appropriate division can help you obtain it, as long as you can help them attain their goal.
And their goal is to make more money, right?
Right now, we're trying to see if we can't get people together
Oh, okay. You just want numbers, basically.
with
Yeah.
with a similar goal, and seeing how we work together to accomplish that goal. The goal might be very small. Hey guys, we got 4 people together. I think our goal today would be 1 million UEC. Oh, okay, let's try to go for that. And so we go out and we raise 1 million UEC for that session. If we have more people, or people that we know are very efficient at what they do, our goal might increase. Hey, tonight, since the coffers are a little, they're pretty big, how about not trying to raise money, but let's see if we can't introduce someone into our operation that might need something.
Okay.
So we might
That's
ask
pretty
someone to join us. Hey, if you participate in our, we noticed that you only have this ship. Or didn't you say last week you only have this little ship? Okay, well here's our offer. Come join us in our military ops for the next week, and we're gonna take care of that for you.
Okay. Yeah.
So that would involve more people. You're inviting more people to the op, right?
And you get more people like actively playing the game,
That is true. So now what does that do? That brings up the potential for much more capital to be raised, because now people have more equipment to work with over time. I can't tell you how much the game changed for me when I jumped out of my prospector and finally into my brand new mole that I bought.
Okay.
It was like, oh, I can mine so much more.
But now you need to have a crew.
And now I need a crew, certainly. But that's my job. That's my kind of in-game fun job, is to try to find ways to bring people together. because I know that the more people were involved, the faster the capital grows. I'm able to raise capital just fine, but if me and you, Conrad, join up, it's even quicker. Now, if there's 10 people a part of the op, holy crap, did we really just raise 4 million in 1 hour? That's really nice, you know? And that's where that's the whole idea. It's reward based off of participation. And now you're in a better spot to help out with future operations, growing more money, and one day you might not have a problem coming up and saying, "Hey, Blood Ravens, I've been with you guys since the beginning doing a lot of ops, and I see that the wallet has more than enough for me to buy a hammerhead or whatever it might be. Do you think that's possible? Can I be in a vote, up or down vote? Can I cash in and say that's what I want? Is that too much or whatever?" And the Blood Ravens will get, the officers of the Blood Ravens, the leaders and whatnot, will get together with my vote and the co-owner's vote, and we would all vote to say, "Hey, Conrad really did bust his ass. You know what? Let's give him a hammerhead."
What would I do
Let's,
with when I need a crew?
but then that's where it comes in. That's where it turns into. Conrad, you would go out and look for that crew.
Oh,
You
yeah,
would
no,
say,
no.
"Who wants to fly in my hammerhead and have some fun?" Now you're meeting someone new. That person might come in and join the organization.
Okay,
You might even say,
I get the
"Hey,
idea.
I've been with this guy or I've been with this girl. They're really funny. We really kick ass. You know, I love being with this person. It's just really good." And that's where it all spawns out. It's like a tree. A new branch will grow every day.
Well,
So
I
that's the
feel
participation.
like something like the Vanguard that we flew or the Andromeda. That something like I can do like solo. That'd
Right,
be good.
right.
Yeah, I don't think Hammerhead is like my thing. Like capital ships, too big for
Well,
me.
just to say, yeah,
Yeah,
just to say that that is a big goal, but
yeah.
after a few months, going into 6 months or whatever, and you've been hammering out things and helping us along and doing this op and doing that op and putting your hand into this or that, we shouldn't have a problem fulfilling your goal
Okay.
because you've been fulfilling ours.
I mean, I'm like in this. I think for like PvP and just like having fun. Like I would just want to
Yeah.
like participate. Like I really don't care about like reward whatever. Just like help me get a ship that can help you. And like I really don't need anything. Just I think
Now,
it's a cool. It's just a cool idea to kind of because they don't have a lot of systems right now to support any of this. Like right now, like if I wanted to, I guess I could just farm up solo. It will be more efficient because the rewards are split. But
yeah.
I think
And,
it's just a
and
cool idea.
some people go right ahead and do that. Um, some people are some people are
Like loners.
like not so much that, but they they find it easier to do it solo. Not that they don't like
Well,
teams.
the game is making it easier to do solo. Like we were flying with what's his name, Octofed? Yeah, Octofed,
Yeah,
and we tracked how the bounties get divided. Turns out, like I was in his turret on his Andromeda, and if I oh sorry, here's the Aquila I think or whichever one.
yeah,
Uh, if I get the last shot from my turret with the smaller gun, I get the money and he doesn't. And if he gets the shot with his cannons, he gets the money and I don't. And the final reward, so this is for the call to arms, like the extra bonuses. But the final mission, the 60, like he was doing the very high, because he got me
Were
up
you
to,
guys sharing missions?
yes, we were sharing missions and he got me to where I could unlock the HRTs. I'm not to the VHRTs yet, but
Okay.
yeah, but we did his VHRTs and it was all split in half. So like he has no incentive to take me, a new player. Like the game is punishing him
Yeah,
for actually bringing me along, and it's like you're such a.
that's very true. But
Yeah,
here's the thing.
it
Here's
shouldn't
the
be like
thing
that.
that you don't. Here's the thing that you don't realize.
Uh huh.
It's a good thing, but you just don't see it as a good thing yet. But let me explain something to you and it'll open your eyes. Yes, it's a bad thing in that situation. And Doom, it's good that you joined because this is a very, very important part that I've been thinking about.
Oh,
When we cross, when we do cross when we cross our operations together,
yeah.
that's where benefits come out, right? If the Blood Ravens are out doing bounties and they are a part of a small group, small team, it's not so much how much you get back. Again, it's you get the immediate gratification of money. It may not be much, but it's immediate, right? But here's the other side that is a good thing. Yes, you're splitting that money, and now what's the incentive of doing this with a team? I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
less and less the more comes in, right? But here's a good side of it. If Octafed is out and he rather do, I can take care of bounty missions myself. I don't really, it's a waste to have someone in my turret because these are pretty easy missions. So don't worry, Conrad. Why don't you go into your own ship and do your own missions, but still be a part of the party? So when you do your own missions, you're sharing yours with me. I'm sharing mine with yours, with you, and now the intake is a bit more. Now also think about this: the people who are doing the mercenary bounties for their money, if they're in the same group in game with the Mad Cat Industries group out there mining, and they share their mission, us miners will get a trickle of bonus as we're mining. So it's a cross divisional operation. So when we do that, Mad Cat would be donating a bit more than they would towards the Blood Ravens to compensate the help the Blood Ravens are giving us for trickling in some money to fund the refinery jobs we need to start to gain the big bankroll. Does that make sense?
It's trying to, but
Okay.
I'm not getting
Octafed's
quite
going
there.
out and doing some missions. Now it does cost money it costs money to start refinery jobs. The panel that I was showing you last night, you were looking at all that stuff, and it cost me like 36,000 to start a job, right?
Okay.
We don't see immediate returns until the job is complete. So now we're at a loss of money until the job is complete, correct?
Yeah.
So if the Blood Ravens were helping out the mining teams with little trickles of capital coming in their way because they're sharing the mercenary missions they're doing, now we have funds to start another refinery job. And because we're using the party system to share the missions, we are getting some of that credit without going out there and fighting. But it's a chance that us miners who can't raise capital immediately like that, we have a chance of using Octafed's generous, contract sharing with us to start new jobs, to get the capital that comes out of it, and then we would donate the trade commission or whoever division will donate to the Blood Ravens a portion because they helped us maintain the funds to start new jobs. Does that make sense?
It does, but like what's the incentive for the leaders of the commission to do that rather than just farm the money yourself, because you can do that easily. Like
Because
right now.
All right. I think a concept is escaping you.
Maybe.
Okay. How can I explain this even more?
Like either way, like right now the game does not let you like Guild Wars 2, for example, right? Everybody participates in an activity, everybody gets the same reward. Like it's double. Like money is appearing out of the game into your.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yes, understand that. Okay, while you're out there mining,
Yeah.
unless you sell the minerals directly
Yeah.
for less of a profit,
Yeah.
while you're conducting a mining operation, that you don't see an immediate return in money. You can guarantee that you're going to lose several 100,000 UEC because you keep starting new jobs to refine, but you're not seeing a return. So your wallet is shrinking more and more and more every time you come back with a new shipment and start a job like you saw me do.
Wait, why is it shrinking though? Like what am I paying?
Because it costs the cost is starting the refinery job.
Oh, okay.
It's the delayed income effect, because like you're
Yes.
waiting for the refinery to finish. So like you're
Right.
renting money for starting a processing job, and then you collect the bounty or like the money at the end for it.
Right, and it might take several hours. So, okay, if you're doing a mining run,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. If you're doing a mining run for several hours, if you do not have the capital in your wallet, your mining operation is going to come to a halt because the coffer is now empty. So what replenishes that coffer while you're doing the mining operation? It would be a team member in your group out there doing bounties. They're in your group, they're just doing something that would help replenish your wallet as you're mining. So in a sense, they're helping out with the mining operation last longer. So if you and Octafed, Conrad, are out there doing bounty missions and sharing the contracts with the mining leader, at least, right? So you guys want to see a return. So Octa, this was what I was thinking, and I'm glad Conrad had me remember it. During an operation, during a mining run, a small team would be out there doing mercenary contracts. The only people you're sharing the contract with is whoever's with you and whoever is conducted to do the refinery jobs. So that way you're not seeing a trickle of 1,000 come in when the fucking bounty was $2,000 or 20 grand. You know what I mean? You don't have so many people sharing your contract. That wouldn't be fair. That would be stupid. So while the mercenary runners are out and are a part of the same group, and you share a contract. Let's say I'm the one going back and forth, starting up a new refinery job every time I come back. I'm the only one that's going to share the contract, share your contract, answer the call, right?
Uh-huh.
So as you guys are finishing mercenary job after mercenary job after mercenary job, I'm seeing a little trickle of that reward come to me as well, which is going to keep funding the refinery jobs that I have to constantly do every time I come back. You understand it now?
So it's like a
Sorta.
seed money program for that refining. I mean, the only other, if you're solo mining and you can't afford the refinery costs, the ripcord that CIG has put in is that you can sell the ore raw, but you only get paid half of the value.
That's very true, but yeah, we would lose half every time we do that. So the workaround would be, even though you guys are not out there mining with us, you're still helping in a way that's putting money directly in your pocket. You're funding some of the refinery jobs that need to be made, and so your participation level would be equal to, oh yeah, yeah, I was able to fund the mining op for 6 hours straight doing fucking mission runs. Is it possible to ask for funds that I can get into a better ship? Yeah, because without Octafed and Conrad that night, we would have been done within the first hour. But instead, with all of their help, we were able to do the operation for 6 hours because they trickled in their reward to the refinery, the person doing the refinery jobs, right? So that would only be fair. Then now you're in a better ship to do whatever you wanted to do more effectively, which makes the op next time that much better. And so on and so on and so on, rinse and repeat for everyone a part of the op, or new people that come in, or whatever it might be. It's the participation reward, not me giving you money and saying you have to owe me within a month. I'm looking for that money. Do you? Oh, I don't ever have it, dude. You gotta have to hit me back. Screw all that. And there was a past member that was in here before that taught me a big lesson. Don't ever don't ever think that everything's a-okay until it's not. You always want to think ahead, right? So nobody in alpha owes anybody anything. It's all fictitious until it launches, right? But if we can come up with a system now that works even better when it does come out, we would be rocking and rolling on day one. And the potential of someone not giving you something back is always there. They're not online. I can't reach him. He hasn't been on in a month. I wonder whatever happened to him. It would be great. I mean, it would be great to access what they put in or whatever the
A
case
lot of
would
that
be.
can be solved when they figure out the corporate accounts.
Right, right. So for now, this pretty much does a lot of things all at once. It's participation, it's coordination, it's trust amongst each other to, trust in the system. It's an honor system, right? It is control. We don't have 100 million people coming back and doing refinery jobs all for themselves. Okay, how much did you make? Only made 12,000 when potentially they made 300K and they don't want to tell you. That breeds all kinds of silliness, right? So it builds trust with the higher ups of the organization too. Like, if for instance, if you go to the UEC coffers under Mad Cat Industries, you will see the current wallet based off of the people who had put in. Now, Gith had donated the amount he did, but it doesn't mean a hill of beans if he's not online,
Right.
right? Like Gith, that's generous, but if you're 4 million widgets, I mean, name it, it is, but it ain't money because you're not online to pass it around when it's requested or needed, right?
Right.
So the system would be the leader of an op is either a commander, captain, or an admiral, like myself. They're in the position that, either if they're not participating, it could be real life stuff, right? I mean, that happens. Or it could be what Gith has been going through. You know, I've ran out the content and now I'm bored.
Mhm.
I can understand that too, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
content doesn't change for 3 months at a time. You're gonna get bored.
Uh-huh.
So I get it. So the system would be the leaders of the coffer would have the understanding that they might be needed for a quick jump in to transfer funds to someone, or someone who's you know crazy active like me. I'm on Discord at least almost every day, so you would know that in one way or another I can get a hold of KV and I could probably get what I asked for, not on a snap of a finger, but at least I can get an answer relatively quickly. So we can find some of those people that might control the coffers for each division. Then the system of getting everyone together to donate to that coffer through participation would solve a lot of the issues that just handing out money and expecting something later might bring up. So if Octafed does, crazy amount of participation, does whatever he needed to do, he was asked to do it, politely. You don't ever have, ever have to do anything you don't want to.
Right.
You might say no and say, well, I don't feel like doing that. That's all well and great. We're not going to hold it against you. But if you do participate, and the more you do, Octafed might come up and say, hey, I did a lot of mining on these guys, and I hate to call anybody out or cash in a ticket forcefully, but I've had my eye on that prospector. I don't have one. Would love to have one. Okay, how much is it? 4 point something million?
Right now it's
Because
like
if you're
1.3 right now.
well, to buy it outright,
Right.
right? So I'm just saying. So if it costs, whatever much as it does, we look at the cost, we look at the coffers corresponding to the appropriate division that it falls under. Mining ships with the mining division, combat ships with the combat division, so forth and so on. And we all get together as the leaders that and we recognize that participation level, and we can afford it through the coffer. Guess what? You're going to get that ship, more than not. So now you feel like, okay, I did my part. No, I really didn't have the UEC on me, but I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been spending it, and I probably never would have reached my goal. There's some players out there. For me, for instance, I was flying with 300K yesterday with Conrad. No, before Conrad. Before I met you, Conrad, I had 300K. Because of one jitterness or one mess up or whatever the night before, when I met you, I had 1,700 UEC. And I was one pissed off dude. Because I didn't piss it away. 30Ks ate that shit up. And I'm fucking livid about it, right? So that's not why the coffers would exist, right? I mean, that was faux pas on my part. Some of it was out of my control, but I would have no right to go to a coffer and say, "Well, I'm owed this because of a 30K swipe." That
Right.
wouldn't happen.
That would be wrong.
N- right. So nor do I have the responsibility in the UEC coffers, a part of MadCat Industries. I officially owe them because of an agreement at the time. 300,000 as far as February the 25th. Now I still owe them that. If there's any time the MadCat Industries division asks me for that money, that I'm still in every right owe them. All right, I understand it. I like the idea. I'm going to put that much that I have as a placeholder in the wallet, because there's no real wallet right now, no real banking system.
It's all
I'm
Google Sheets.
Yeah, I'm responsible for 300K. So here you go. And whatever you guys are using for it, whoever player you're giving it to, it was based off of your votes and your decision. You knew who participated and who didn't and how much they did and whatever. It's all up to you. I know I'm responsible for that 300K to you, and you called upon it, so here it is. Now, they don't owe me anything because it was already prearranged beforehand. We ran a.
You're talking like hypothetical, right? Like hypothetical numbers.
This is all happening now. I owe MadCat Industries 300,000.
But it's like nothing. Like three VHRT bounties. Like you could do that in like 5 minutes.
However I raise the capital,
Right.
however I do it, that's up to me.
So right
But
now
at the
we're in
end of
this.
the day, I owe that.
Yeah, we're in this actual. You're in that actual situation right now, but hypothetically, this situation could exist with millions and millions of UEC, and that's
Right.
where-
That's what I'm
It
saying. Like
already
the numbers are like because I could like give you 300K right now. I made that much last night, so it's like the
And
it has to be like in millions.
It would be up to the individual guys.
Yeah.
Seriously. When it comes to donations, I mean, Blood Ravens hard up on money? Probably not. They'll do their missions. They're fine. They have their goals. There's some certain members that run with Dre Bazzi. Dre Bazzi has a goal. Other players that run with her have a goal. They all have their little niches and things that they would love to fly in. They can't really afford with real life money, so they'll buy it in game. And oh boy, it's 4 million. How am I going to do that by myself? Well, that's what the division's for, right? Getting together to help each other. So this is the system that we have come up with. Now, right now, I can see that MadCat Industries, if you look at the wallet, it's got over almost 2, 6, 7. It's got 7 million UEC, a little bit more than that, of course. It's got almost 7 million, I'm sorry. It's got 7 million UEC floating around in it right now. If Alchemical, what he had put down, he put down 1.7 million.
Okay.
1,750,000, I see. I put in 300,000 because I haven't really been able to participate, in our operations. I've had long working days and life has hit me and whatever. Gith had donated his 4 million. Somatic had put in 1.1 million. So at the time, if a vote ever came down to where a member would love to get into a better mining ship or whatever it might be to help out with the next op, like, hey guys, it was great that I flew around in a Cutlass Black scouting for you, but I would love to be able to pitch in using a mining laser, and that way more capital can be raised on our next op. And I participated in the last 6 ops. Can I, Conrad, get a prospect using the coffee? And I'm sure me, Alchemical, Gith, Somatic, KO, everyone who votes, everyone who's recognized people who've been in and out and doing their thing, we'd all put to a vote and say, hey, Conrad's requesting this. I'm sure it would be a yes if it doesn't break the coffer. I'm sure no's could come out. That's always a possibility, because there might be something bigger planned with the coffer, right?
Yeah.
Later on in the game, the coffer might be used to raise a brand new base on a planet somewhere. So yeah, it would be a bad time to say, hey, I'm Conrad, remember me? I did all those mining ops. I would love that prospector. Mad Cat Industries might say, Conrad, we know it. But it's better off that we build this base right now. That is a main focus. And you would have to take that into consideration as well. That, there's going to be goals that would better the corporation all in a whole, whether you see it as something helpful right away or not, right? Like, okay, how does that help me right now? I would love to like jump in a ship. The base is not really going to help me. I'm never going to go there. I mean, I would like my participation level to be honored, right?
Yeah, sure, that
You
makes
might-
sense.
You might not see the goal,
Right.
and you might not see the immediate return, but I promise you, everything we do with the coffers would help out people in a whole, and things would get a lot easier once the system starts rolling. And I hope to God they do put in an actual banking system, because that would
Yeah.
be
Pretty good.
sweet.
So I have a few like as a critic who's only been playing a game for like a day. Well, it's 2 days now. I do have a few I see a few problems with the plan.
Okay,
But only if I may, because you are
you go right ahead. Hey, one thing about this organization is you have a microphone that works.
yeah, this is just
You-
like an analyst's kind of feedback here.
No, go ahead. I don't
Analyst
care.
So
I want to hear it.
okay, so this works only if you rely more on players who can only afford the starter pack and cannot like farm for their own ships. So like me right now, for example, me, right? I have the money, like real life money, set off to buy some kind of ship. Right now, my goal
Sure.
is to test out different ships to see which one I want to buy. But I will have a better ship than an Orc because it's a piece of shit, right? So like I am not that like desperate to kind of buy into that. Like I like you guys, so I'd be down to just hang out with you guys, because like playing a game is funner with friends, like in any game. Now, as long as you, but like people who will really buy into the system and kind of like listen to and obey, there'll be people who kind of don't want to play the game to begin with, which is why they don't have a ship. And you probably like in order to not even afford a prospector, like right now, the way the bounties are paying, as what I've seen yesterday, you have to be like a total tard not to be able to afford a prospector. Like
Right.
you have to like not actually want to play the game, and that seems to like what, at least with the prices right now, the system has to rely on these unreliable people. Like, oh well, yeah, we'll help you get your first mining ship, except like, why can't you afford it to begin with? Like, you probably don't play the game at all. Now, in order to actually make sense, you'd have to like be slinging like hammerheads for people who want them, but then you have to like mine a lot. Like you have to like buy something that's like a constellation, like 5 million. I can see how like a person not wanting to grind for like a week or something, but still, like maybe like a reclaimer. That would be like maybe 2 or 3 weeks of like solid grinding for someone. but then you can't buy reclaimers to like for everyone. It's basically like a market crash. Like you all have to slave forever to buy someone like a reclaimer, because like anyone should be able to just do a few missions on foot. Like with the Aurora, I can go do these bunker missions. I can just land my Aurora
Sure.
behind a mountain, 14k right there. So do a little bit of that, and it's like how do you resolve that? Because like like say let's say I'm like some mean guy, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I want my immediate return. I don't want to like build a base. I can just go to another organization or like have somebody else just help me out right there, and like people will do that. People will
Sure.
just
And they can do that, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this, Conrad, and
Yeah.
your points are valid, and
Yeah,
I'm very
sadly.
happy that I'm very happy that you brought that up.
Well, that's what the participation thing's for.
Like how do you encourage that? Like how do you
Okay, so think about this. I sorry about the crinkling. My giant fucking sub
Yeah.
that I have yet to make it.
You got that sub like 3 hours ago. What the hell?
Dude, it's maddening. Okay, so I'm giving this half to my mother. Actually, I'm waiting for her to come in. Oh boy, I'm full. It's a BLT. I can't say no. All right, so I'm very happy that you raised that, Conrad, because this is something that we thought about.
Yeah.
All right. Think about this. The system isn't all just about, wow, the system works. I'm really flying in this whatever ship it is. Fill in the blank here.
Yeah.
Not all about that. It's not even about what your goal is, because all that is trivial, right?
Right.
At some point, we're all going to reach that goal. Your point of going out, myself, I can go out certainly. I
Yeah.
ate through lunch while being on, so I can certainly log back in right now and do these lucrative runs that I know will pay me immediately, and I can reach my goal to buy. I don't even know what I'm going to buy, but I don't buy ships in game, right? I try not to. I just don't like the risk of losing it on a reset. I'd be fucking steaming. So I like the definite. I know the ships I own, they're going to be in the game, and as long as I'm not a fucktard and ruin the insurance during live build, I'm going to own them forever.
Right.
On that note, I was blessed enough and I thought ahead enough for the last 4 years to put real life money on my account at such a pace that it took 4 years to raise up at least $600, right? So
Okay.
I put a little bit at a time, a little
Okay.
bit here, a little bit there. Once a month I'd put in like $20, whatever I could afford, right?
Sure.
Because I had a goal.
Sure.
Now, I didn't want to own it in game. I want to own that for life. How do you do that? You buy it off the system. Now that I bought it, I'm happy, right? I'm happy with my purchases thus far.
Sure.
Now, that system for me, it wouldn't work for me. I would just straight out tell the team, I have really no intermediate or even immediate goals right now.
Right.
I'm good on my account. I don't need a mole. I own one. I don't need, let's say, Caterpillar. I've got a C2 coming in a couple of weeks. I don't really need a hauler. Combat ships, I'm flying around in my Harbinger. I think I'm pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna leech on the coffers to try to get something in game that I already can manage with what I already own, right? So that system doesn't work for me. But here's where it does work. If I was confident enough to buy ships in game,
Yeah.
that would free my account up for the real life money I'm actually using to buy something else.
Yeah.
So if you, Conrad, let's let's focus back on me actually.
Well, whatever. Just I'm just like, how do you? Yeah, we can focus on like on you or me. You can use me as an
You
example.
are
Let's say a person who does not like,
need any of that crap, right?
well,
Okay.
or they can get
So,
it just by solo. Like, how do you?
yeah.
I
Not
have
saying
no.
I'm rich, but I have what I like, and I'm okay. I'm content.
Mhm.
Now, in order for me to save money, think of these figures. A mole is $320,
Okay.
real life money. Now, if I am able to be, if I'm confident enough to go out and buy a mole inside the game, that's freeing up my $320 to put to something else. Now, in order for me to obtain that goal of buying a mole, I could either do that for myself, grind night in and night out, and now I accomplished it, don't really need a team,
Yeah.
but now I'm not showing what participation can amount to.
Okay.
I'm
Now
I,
that
I'm
makes sense. Okay. So
I'm showing
yeah.
what I can do by myself,
Right. Playing with
but
friends. Yeah.
I know that I can do much more, and there's much more potential with a group of people. What I
Well,
did by myself can be 4 times as much, 5 times as much if we
Um.
run it right and do it right and work
also
together.
there's also the, and this is in my case, I like capital ship sizes. I really like the big stuff.
Yeah.
The problem is that the way they designed the game here is that they don't
Yeah.
reward people that like the big ships with guns.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you have the big ship, but you actually need a crew
Yeah.
to
Yeah. For
operate it,
sure. Like the
or
hammerhead. Yeah.
you
It
need
does
to
not.
wait.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah, or
hammerhead
you
is
need
like
to wait for
powerless.
the AI. But the AI will never be as good as a human gunner
Mm.
because they're going to nerf them naturally, so you don't get incentivized for not bringing a crew.
Okay.
Right.
They will incentivize team play, and that's how they're going to
Yeah.
make
They
the game.
have to.
Yeah, and like, because I'm in that boat. I'm relatively well off in the sense that I can drop 340 or $50 on a mole, which is what I
Yeah.
did when I joined the org,
Yeah.
so I could help out with mining. You couldn't buy the 600i, so I've been grinding that. And for my particular use case here, I am online when no one else is online, so I had to do it solo, which is fine. And I would have loved to do it with the group, but that was just not possible with the times that people were online. But I'm happy to do either. And I'm happy to share my wallet with the org to make sure that we have a strong team presence. So there was another guy. Who was the guy 2 days ago? Like, we all sent him like a ton of cash so he could outfit with armor and all that stuff. And I feel like that's,
Yeah, that's a prime example.
so yeah. I sent him like 100 grand or 50 or 100 grand just for, like, yeah, get your armor ready, get all your FPS weapons set up, and he had 8,000 in his wallet when he started and had a hard time making that because his ships
Yeah.
kept he couldn't get the good missions, right? So yeah, we
Yeah.
prop each other up that way.
Yeah, I think like what you're saying is like what Octafed said too. Like playing with friends is like your biggest leverage is like create like a cult of personality, have like a good voice, like like KV's like a good narrator. Like I think the real leverage is not the money, but like the personality, like the leadership and stuff. Like so you want to have like people actually want to play with the org, and that's like that's probably the most powerful draw really. Um,
Right. It's not how much you bring in. It's knowing the potential of what you could.
Yeah, and I think
Right.
the game is right now is like
So
super weak in that. Like Octafed, you and I like we tracked those bounties yesterday, and like it was like punishing you for having me along.
Which I was totally fine with that because
Right.
also you actually I
'Cause you're
do have
special.
in the Connie I do have issues with when multiple enemies pop because the Connie has shield holes. So having that extra gunner to actually help with the swarm did help a little bit because I do lose the Connie every so and so missions. I do have to pit stop every so and those pit stops actually become more infrequent when I have you along with me because you can take the flies off my back that would have otherwise damaged me.
And in the end, we ended
That,
up running into an asteroid that
and
neither
yeah,
of
and
us
that
could see.
dude,
You
I've done
have to
that. I've
mention
done
that.
twice today already, like run into ghost asteroids that haven't spawned into visual
Yep,
range.
it's great.
That's happened twice to me today already. So that's like that one of the major pain points I have with the game. But yeah,
Now,
I realize that it's alpha and I deal with it.
now with these mining operations, that I think I'm gonna launch one. Give me like an hour, maybe hour and a half. I mean, if you guys are all
I'm down.
game for one, I mean, we can certainly do one, an official op to get the wallets going. Um, actually,
I just wanna mine. It was fun. If you let me do the like run the laser, I just
um,
wanna try the laser out.
we would probably help. Everyone should probably get together and help raise the trade commission and get that off. Like to get that operation. I know it's janky right now. Maybe it's not worth your while, but
How
it
much are
is.
you looking for?
It is a. It is a playable aspect in the game, no matter how broken or janky or buggy it might be. It's still an aspect in the game that we're missing. So
How much do you need?
that would be thought about and talked about later on. I'm not worried about any of that. But the thing is, no matter how we do it, if we come together on the same page, which is the most important part when you start an official op, that everybody would understand one level line of thinking, and they know what they're getting into, and they know what to expect throughout the operation, right? That's the most important part, is communication. Second most important part is, of course, cooperation, right? I mean, everyone's together, everyone's as well oiled as a machine as we can be with the current state of the game. That's also important, but we also understand, Conrad, that some of these ops can just downright miserably fail for one reason or another. But at least we give it a try, and we put it into practice enough to when this game goes live, boy, the DSC really knows what they're doing when it comes to mining ops. Holy crap, they just emptied all this field within an hour. How the fuck did they do that? Yeah,
Okay.
because we've been at it since day one.
So right now you wanna basically buy all your people's ships and train them to
Pretty
mine.
much.
Yeah, train them all to mine.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's the idea.
that makes sense.
And like you said, what's the level of the participation level goals raise up as you come along? Okay, you don't have a mole. If you happen to not have a mole, that would be your end goal. What can we do in the cheapest way possible that would still help you in the op? Right now, Conrad, any ship but what you have is good. Hate to say it to you, because the Aurora is toilet paper, and I'm done wiping my ass with that one.
Yeah.
So anything is good for you. So, for instance, we might not give you that mole right away, but we're going to give you something that could make scouting a lot easier.
Okay.
So, your job would be to scout until the coffers come up, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Octafed might not be all that, don't really feel like mining today, but I can tell you what, I can chip in another way. If I share missions with you, it's funding refinery jobs. So there's a lot of places that you could stick your peg into that would help with the operation of the organization. So if you think of anything else that might be more efficient, based off of what we do currently at that time, that's always the best thing as well. It's always the best thing, because that's what it's all about. Sure, you can raise millions by yourself, but you will never learn to work as a team. Like, oh God, I'm used to doing this by myself. I'm so sorry. I should have been scanning that rock 10 minutes ago. Yeah, because it's not in your mindset. You're with people now. It's a whole different play.
That makes sense. So what kind of ships can I scan a rock in? In any ship?
Any ship, yeah.
Any ship. So I could do it in Aurora.
There will be mining operations where working as a team is the only way it's going to work.
I've got a question here.
Yep.
So whenever you're looking at the scan progress on things, I found a Quantanium rock, and I'm not in like mining mode. I'm actually just doing the scanner.
Right.
I see Quantanium, and it says composition 45.83 and then 53.67, and I don't understand what that means.
Okay, your first set of numbers in that list is how much is going to come out of that rock. And wherever you are, it's almost 50% of that, the volume of that rock will be Quantanium.
Oh my god. So I thought a 50% Quantanium rock?
Yes.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we actually confirmed it yesterday that the left column numbers on the right side, whatever it doesn't add up to, that's the inert materials. So
Yes.
Or other materials that are uninteresting. But if you found a 50% Quantanium, that's take a screenshot. Those are rare, man.
see, I'm bringing you guys good luck.
So, Doom,
Yeah.
stand by where you are. I think I'm going to start the mining operation very sooner than I thought. So
What
if
do you
anybody,
do now? Can you mine it yourself? Because like sitting out there while everything bootstraps is going to be very tedious.
what do you mean?
Oh, wait, hang on. This is... Sorry, I have two screens. But, yeah, that's what... Boop.
Yeah, I can't see that.
Open the original file.
Yep, 45%, and the
then-
quartz, yeah. Yep, 45%.
You very often get, yeah, so 45% Quantanium is still very, very good. It's definitely worth mining. And that will fill up, if you manage to break them out into like 100% sub rocks, then you can fill up a prospector pretty easily with it.
Oh, I'm in a mole.
Oh, but then you're good. Then you can take the entire rock home.
You know how to break it up and all that stuff. We did it earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's super cool in the mole when you actually do the team, because every laser that you put on a rock will reduce the instability, which means it's much
that's
easier
awesome.
to break without breaking it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
I love that shit.
Exactly.
My first mining op, and this, yeah, I'm like, it's obviously a very embarrassing situation to have to come into, but I came out there to, I think it was Somatic, and I put too much power in my laser, and the rock overpowered, and it blew up my mole and almost disabled his.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was, you gotta be careful with it.
Right.
That sounds familiar from what happened
And
yesterday.
that was the first day in the org for me, so I'm like, hey, I'm the new guy, bang.
We all
Well,
overheated the
also-
rock.
Like, I was
also,
a saboteur
you know,
instead.
also things in the game. I was out there with Conrad, and his first scan,
It
not
just skipped.
not 2 minutes out there. His first scan was like a 35% titanium. So I'm like, oh man, that's an excellent first find. And the Burrell was also over 20.
Yeah,
So I'm like, it's a really good find.
And
So
then
we
you were
started
like,
doing.
yeah, and you were
sometimes
heating
it
it up,
sucks
and then
getting
it like
those,
skipped and just glitched into exploding.
that sucks. But sometimes the big first finds are actually like they almost suck a little bit, because then you're like, hey, look how nice and easy it was to find this
And you
insane
don't
rock,
find it for 2 hours.
and then it takes you, yeah, or it takes you a day to find a rock like that again.
right.
You guys are
right.
good. I'm here now.
Okay, so I'm going to skip across the way. See my mother for a bit. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna start a mining up actually tonight. I do have work very early in the morning. It's 4 o'clock now. I could probably be up until comfortable 12. So 12. So that's 8 hours. So what can we do in 8 hours? It all depends on you guys because I'm going to be at it. We would have to figure out. We
I'm
would
gonna
have.
lock the menus, and then I can also join you. But I'm out taking my 600 I for a spin to get comfortable with
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Cool. We would have to figure out what would. That's the only problem that would cut a mining operation short, is not having the money to start a job. That always sucks.
19,000, right? Or what?
It varies. I mean, if we bring back a
Multiple
full boat of
19,000.
if we come back with a full boat of quantanium, you might be spending 36,000. You know,
36,000?
it's
Okay, I got
it's
that.
just it varies. It varies on the cost of starting a refinery job. It varies on about what's in your hold. So
I don't
and
think we'll be in that problem really. So we can because we will have enough cash to do refinery.
Yeah, I can do like a
Yep.
few bounties and bring in
Now,
like a couple thousand.
here's another thing. How do I put this here? If a team comes up, because I don't want to keep skipping the ones that you ignore, right, in the red list. If you happen to spend your first 2 minutes trying to find a good rock and you've just been finding red list items, why not just suck all that up and straight sell it out of the, without refining? It's at least something coming in, right? So if a team goes for the big stuff and maybe another team goes for mediocre stuff, they just, if they find good stuff, go ahead, but don't ignore the mediocre stuff, the yellow line, the diamond, the gold, and I think what else is it? Diamond, gold, and it's gold and copper. Gold and copper, they're not as good as titanium and diamond, obviously, but they're along the lines of a good sale. Now, if we come up with red line like Burrell, Tuxcan, corundum, quartz, aluminum, and all that stuff, don't put a refinery job on it. Just sell it outright. It's quick. It will finance the next mining job that might come in, that sort of thing. So I don't think it should be some things that we should ignore. I think we should take everything that's valuable.
Yeah, that's like, but you're right. Like we should, if you go for a strip mining operation, you should strip mine, right? And then, but there should be a boat dedicated to the quant because of the time sensitive nature of that mineral.
That is true, and there's also a thing that we must think about as well. If you sell outright without refining, you're forced to sell everything. If you start a refinery job,
Oh yeah.
you are forced to refine everything in your hold. Everything you don't gets thrown out.
Just
You
refine.
can't
Okay.
you can't mix the two. So
Just refine everything. It's more money, right?
well, it's not really worth refining aluminum. It's just not. I mean, the return is negligible.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's crappy type of ore to begin with.
Yeah,
So you
aluminum,
wouldn't-
they've priced aluminum so low that it doesn't even cover the fuel cost of getting it.
Oh shit.
Right.
So it doesn't change if you refine it. It doesn't change like its value.
But here's another thing.
No, well, it does. You get more aluminum, but even if you get the maximum amount of aluminum, you're still getting, like, it is not worth your time. They have created like an ore that is utterly worthless to mine.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Great.
We also have mining opportunities right outside L2. It's right there. Not going to be quantanium,
Yeah, and that's why
But
they put the stations there. But all of the
it's right
L1
there.
through 5s are obviously those are mining areas.
So those are areas we shouldn't be ignoring either. There could be some great fun. I found a great cache of diamonds. I was not able to crack it because I put the wrong lasers in it and a 30K happened. But I'm like, the myth that some garbage material is close around the station is just not true. You would think right outside the station there's not going to be anything of value because, that defeats the purpose of, the effort of going out and getting it, right? If it's right outside your door, why would you want to walk 10 feet down the block? You
Right.
know?
Well, they don't put that there, but also after a day of looking for all the quantanium and finding no rocks that are worth your time, then you have to decide: do you want your 150K payday, or are you holding out for the 300K that may never happen?
That's true. That's very true. So I know that there's an ignore list. I know we see a lot of Corundrum come up, Tungsten come up. Oh, okay, ignore that. Even though it says 34%, we don't want that. I think that's a mistake. It's something that you can bring back with you. So if you commit yourself to the low end deal, you have to stay within that lane because of the rule. You can only sell everything but nothing, and you can only refine everything but nothing. You can't do both. Sadly, you can't do both. So I think a boat that would be dedicated to the high end stuff with a scout, and then a boat that would just take anything that's value. That way, we're just continuing to move and shake, And if the low end boat finds some really good stuff, mine it. Don't call over the high end boat to come and collect. I mean, get it. I mean, for frig's sakes, go right ahead. You were lucky to find it. Whatever. If you need help, we're here. But there should be a high end boat and a low end team that will cover everything of value that's in. Because you're right, Octafed. We're on a strip mining mission, and we're just bypassing so many trips. It's UEC. I mean, it isn't the 150K intake, but it's something. And if anything, you could look at it as, all right, this immediate sale of this low end stuff is going to fund the next refinery job of the good stuff when that boat comes in. But all right, I'm gonna push my dog out for a few and say hello to the family, and I will be back to start an official mining op. So um,
Do you want to do some bounties in the meantime, Conrad?
I
Sure.
will be right back.
Well, all this to say, Chris and CIG, your fans are counting on you. They're making plans, they're theorizing, they're daydreaming about how the game is going to be. And you can't please everyone. Everybody's got their own ideas. And sometimes they're not even sure what ideas they got. Yeah, there will be pirates near the gates. No, wait, no, there shouldn't be pirates near the gates. No, no, yes. Wait, yeah, there should be pirates near the gates. If you didn't go to conventions presenting fake videos of content that isn't finished yet and were more transparent with your fan base, maybe perhaps the confusion would be a little bit less and expectations would be a little more streamlined. So, don't fail us, CIG. As much as we like to rail, we are believers. We believe. There are players imagining themselves to be guild captains and mercenary crew captains and corporate CEOs and raising the coffers and being able to finance the newbies and their ships and invest money into this and that and be owners and managers of massive floating ship production facilities and industry magnates and tycoons of entertainment and roleplay cruise yacht owning millionaires. So, all of that and more. Your promise is making people believe in. So, Don't fail us. Do good. Do really good. We believe. I hope. Jesus. See you in what, 2030? I'll be like 44.